Well, happy election eve, my fellow patriots. I am your blue state conservative coming to you from Portland, Oregon. The day is almost here, you guys. I'm very excited. Well, today I spent some time researching voting, ID requirements, mail-in voting, and I broke it down by state. And I want to share with you a few aha moments that I had while conducting my research. Well, the first thing I want to jump into is I was looking at what states are only able to cast their vote for the presidential election via mail. Because I'm in Oregon, I can't go to a polling station and actually vote I almost said old-fashioned. I hate to say old-fashioned because I know that only 5 states don't allow that. So I would love to actually be able to stand in line, get my little sticker or button that says I voted, but I am not able to. Well, along with Oregon, Washington State is mail-in only. Hawaii is mail-in only. Surprisingly, Utah is mail-in only. And Colorado is mail-in only. So only 5 states within the United States are only able to vote via mail. I was fully expecting to find some sort of trend that showed that the states, once they put in the mail-in voting only, that they changed from red to blue. I didn't find any of that, to be honest. And actually, Hawaii 2020 is the first presidential election that is going to be by mail only. So we'll see how that plays out. Hawaii, since 1960, which is the first year that Hawaii voted in the presidential election, they have been blue. Oh gosh, I actually did the math on this. Hawaii's been blue 86% of the time. So I do not see that state flipping anytime soon. Let me just give you the other percentages because I do find it interesting. Colorado, so I went for Hawaii's the exception. Obviously, they've only been around for the last 60 years. But what I did is I did 100 years for the other 4 states. So Colorado has voted Republican 68% of the time. Oregon, 48% of the time. Washington State 40% of the time, and Utah 76% of the time, which I find interesting, but there's better. I started diving into ID requirements when it comes to voting, and that's where I was really left scratching my head as for why we are so incredibly lax as a country when it comes to ID requirements to vote. We are making one of the biggest decisions in our life, and ID isn't required in the vast majority of states. But I broke it down a bit. There are 5 categories. So one is you don't need any ID whatsoever. Nobody even asks you. 17 states. And out of those 17 states, they are 76% Democratic ran, okay, historically. Now there's another category where it's requested but not required. So someone says, hey, do you have your ID? Nope, no big deal, okay? 15 states are like that. Too many. There is the third category. Photo ID is requested, okay? So in this category, you can sign an affidavit if you don't have it with you, or sign something attesting that you are who you are, but you don't need to have any form of photo ID, and there are 10 states like that. Then we go to the 4th category, and that's strict non-photo ID. So you have to have something official, but it does not need a photo. Okay, only 3 states do that. Now then there's strict, and there's only 6 states that are strict, and it is 100% Republican ran states. I'm just going to share with you what they are. So we have Wisconsin, Indiana, Tennessee, Missouri, Kansas, and Georgia. They require some type of state or federal issued photo ID. My question is, why aren't all 50 states and Washington, D.C. requesting official photo ID? That's just frightening to me.